So boys and girls, good morning. I pray and hope you guys are having an extraordinary time and absorbing as much as you can. I could not think of something better than this, that you could be doing this summer to become better boys and girls. So I'm pretty sure my two boys and my daughter are also plugged in now. Yesterday they were unable. So this morning we'll be talking about setting life goals is critical. Yesterday we talked about time management. As I said, I actually came in at the tail end when Dr. Nicolene was explaining and talking about you being distracted, not staying focused on the task at hand, always turning to actually take a look at that cell phone and check what is going on Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is. So yesterday we did actually emphasize on a lot of things when we did our time management training. But today, a combination of time management and setting goals will make you really become very, very successful in your studies and also in your career, whatever you want to do in life. So before I get started, what I'd like you to do is type in the chat who you want it to become in the future. Let's just type in the chat who you want to become in the future. So if you want to become a medical doctor, but specify it. If you want to become a teacher, an entrepreneur, I know yesterday a lot of you said you wanted to become motivational speakers, right? So, but I don't think everybody on this platform wants to become a motivational speaker. So type in the chat who you want to become in the future. And you'll see how this actually plays in that, how this ties into setting goals as we go through the training. So let me give you a minute to do that. Please type in the chat who you want to become in the future. Who are you dreaming to become in the future? A doctor, an engineer, a teacher, an entrepreneur, whatever it is, drop that in the chat. And we'll circle right back towards the end, and I'll actually give you some pointers as well. But again, as we go through this, you will see exactly how that plays out when you are actually setting your goals. So again, that said, let's actually jump into it. Yesterday, I shared my story with all of you. So let's get into this training. So what is a goal? What happened? I have something but don't pay it any mind with the black circle on it. So what is a goal? So you can read, right? Goals give you a roadmap to your future. So look at goals like a GPS. This is a very, very broad topic, but I'll try to narrow it down and simplify it so that you boys and girls of your age, you can already understand this and start utilizing it. And if you start utilizing it at this age, by the time you fully understand how to set your own goals, actually implement your goals, manage your activities well, things will be very, very good. So goals give you a roadmap to your future. That's what goals do. They provide something to strive for, some point in the future to reach. That's what I was asking you about. Who do you want to become in the future? But what exactly is a goal, and how do you know when you have achieved the goal? How do you know it? What exactly it is? We'll actually get into that. So goals are specific. Again, we'll get into that. Your goals have to be very, very specific. It's not just enough to say, hey, I want to become a medical doctor, or I want to earn a PhD. A PhD in what? And when do you want to actually earn that PhD? So we'll get into all those details. So setting goals is a way to focus your attention on what you want in the future. Dr. Nicolene mentioned that, right? Focusing your attention on the one thing. When you embark on something, you want to make sure that you stay laser focused to accomplish that one goal. If you are not specific, you will never know where you are going. And I say it would be like following a GPS that has no street names. Can you imagine following a GPS that has no street names? That is kind of a little scary. I don't think it's me, but somebody is playing. Okay, good. It took that off. Thank you so much. Yesterday I did make mention of it, right? That I'm not techie, but I just know how to put my slides together. But I don't want you to mess my slides, right? So moving along, why are goals important? This is very, very critical. We just mentioned it. It's just like your GPS. Goals are your roadmap. If you want to be successful in your education and in your life, you need to set some goals. And I'll give you some takeaways. I'll give you certain acronyms that if you don't even need to memorize it. You always remember that, and you know how to easily set your goals. So I'll say a dream plus, if you have a big dream, you have some action steps, and then you have a target date that's equal to a goal. And again, as we go through this training, you'll see exactly how that plays out. So goals provide direction, a sense of accomplishment, and they define your growth and development. Because when it's not just important to set a goal, but it's also important to know when you accomplish that goal. So again, number one, look at the goal like your roadmap. These are roadmaps or your GPS. So if you have to drive from your city to another city, can you do it successfully without a GPS? You will drive to LA without one? I don't think so. If I have to leave from Maryland and drive to LA, I need a GPS. I need, the GPS will tell me exactly, you go 1 mile, you make a left, go another 1 mile, you make a right, and so on and so forth. And it's just like a recipe. Would you make the Thanksgiving dinner without a recipe? You need a recipe to make your Thanksgiving dinner, right? Or if you want to make that cake, you need a recipe. So we will break it down and actually show you how this actually plays out as you embark on your journey to becoming successful, not just in your education, but in life in general. So the 4 key questions you should be asking yourself. So establish your goals by answering these 4 questions. This is very, very key, boys and girls. You need to actually take a screenshot of this or write this down. Number 1, define the desire or challenge facing you. That's number 1 is challenge. You have to define it. And I'll simplify it. This is very, very simple. After this slide, the next steps will just be a lot of fun. I will just be giving you some examples, and then you yourself, you will actually be setting your own life goals. So define the desire or challenge facing you. Why do I want it? Why do you want to become a medical doctor? Why do you become an entrepreneur? Number 2 is goal. So number 1 is the why. Why do I want it? That's the challenge. Number 2 is your goal. What do I want? Number 1 is why. Number 2 is what do I want? Write down the goal you want to achieve. And that's why I asked you to drop in the chart who you want to become in the future. Number 3 is very, very important. A lot of people, they know the why, they know what they want. Number 3 is how will I get it? That's an action plan, right? Action steps. Your specific action plan to reach your goals. That is key. That's how will you get it? And then number 4, which is also critical, is target dates. When do I want it? It's not just enough to say, hey, I want to become a medical doctor. When do you want to become a medical doctor? So the why, the what, the how, and the when, we're actually going to answer all of those. So the completion date to reach your goals is extremely very, very important. So don't say, I always like to give, I know you are boys and girls and you don't actually embark on this. I'll give an example like weight loss, and this could apply to your parents. You cannot just say, I want to lose 20 pounds. By when do you want to lose 20 pounds? What do you need to do to lose 20 pounds? Why? Because maybe you want to stay healthy. Your parents want to stay healthy, right? So, but what do they need to do? What action steps? They need to work out, they need to eat right. And then when? You might say in the next 20 days, in the next 40 days, or in the next 60 days. And again, this slide is very, very important. You got to understand the why you want it, what you need to do, and the action steps, how will you do it, and then when you get it completed. And I just gave you an example, right? So gave you an example of weight loss. I want to lose 20 pounds. In order to do that, I need to eat right. I need to exercise every day for 10 to 30 minutes. And by what date do I need to do it in the next 30 days, in the next 60 days? So again, and you see it, I'll simplify it and so that you understand it better. So what makes a good goal? Pay very close attention from here, moving forward. What makes a good goal? A good goal is SMART. Never forget this word SMART. All of you are smart young boys and girls. So how in the world will you even forget this acronym SMART? You're striving to be smart, right? So everything you do in life, always remember this word SMART. When you're setting your goals, it's going to simplify it for you. And the bad goal is what? Dumb. God forbid we don't have any dumb kids in our midst. And we will never even have that. So we want all of you to be smart. So that's what makes a good goal. Again, a good goal is smart. A bad goal is dumb. I think this is the easiest way, the best way I can put it so that kids of your age can actually understand how to easily set their goals. So what is SMART? What is SMART goals? So the S, very important. This S stands for, you have to be specific. You hear me say this a lot. S stands for specific. And if you don't get anything out of this training, never, ever forget that acronym SMART. When you think of setting your goals, the only word that should come into your mind is SMART. S-M-A-R-T, SMART goals. So the S is specific. The M is measurable. Your goals have to be measurable. The A is attainable. Set goals that can be attained. And again, we'll get into some specifics, some examples to make it very, very palatable. The R is relevant. Again, we'll give you some examples. How relevant are your goals? And as I earlier mentioned, it has to be time bound. It should be a deadline. It has to be time bound, and also it has to be trackable. You have to be able to track your goals. How do you know when you have actually achieved a goal? That is critical. And again, if you go back to the 4 questions, hopefully you actually wrote down those 4 questions. Those 4 questions can easily guide you. Those 4 questions plus this acronym SMART can help each and every one of you actually craft a nice, achievable goal. So now, let's start with the S, with the specific goals, right? So let's start with specific goals. So again, let me go back. I want to make sure you get this. Again, SMART, the S is specific, M is measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound, or trackable. So specific. So I'll give you an example example, boys and girls, look at this. I will go to college after high school. This is not specific. If your goal is to, I will go to college after high school. Is that specific? I don't really think so. Look at the second option. I will attend Harvard University after high school and earn a bachelor's degree in biology when I graduate in September of 2024. So you have more information here. So the first one doesn't tell you which college you want to go to. You have to be specific. So you have to know clearly which college you want to go to after high school. What you want to study. So the first one is missing a lot of information, but the second one has some pieces added to it. So at least it's telling us which university you want to go to, what you want to major in. So what course do you want to read? And projections when you actually plan to graduate. If it's a 4-year course, you should already have that in mind. So that's specific, right? Again, we're trying to keep it as basic as possible so that boys and girls of your age should really be able to understand this. So that's the S. So that's the S. And what's the next one? It's measurable, right? So the first one is specific. So we just define what a specific goal is. You have to be very specific. It's not enough for you to say, hey, I plan to succeed in all my courses this semester. It's not enough. So again, let's moving forward, measurable goals. Your goals have to be measurable. You should be able to measure your goals. The first example again, I want to do well in my classes this year. That is, it's not measurable, it's not even specific as well. But look at the second option. It's way better, right? I want to earn a 4.0 GPA in my classes all 3 semesters. That's specific right there, and it's measurable. You can say 3.5 or 3.0, but I'll say, hey, shoot for the stars. Go for 4.0. So just another example here, which is very, very fitting, which you can actually play with your parents with this as well, is losing weight. If your dad or your mom is telling you, hey, I want to lose some weight, tell them, hey, mom, just losing weight is it's so vague. So how many pounds do you want to lose, mom, dad? And by when do you want to do it? What activities do you need to do? So mom, you're eating all this junk. It's not going to happen. You have to eat right. You have to exercise, right? And why do you have to do it, mom? We want you to live as long as possible, mom, so that we have the pleasure of having your company. So these are things you can be telling your parents. So the first one was S, have to specific, has to be measurable. Then your goals have to be attainable. Attainable goals. You don't want to make them so broad that it even scares you that you will not be able to attain your goals. Look at example number 1. I want to earn my PhD within 6 months of graduating from college. You know that's not possible, right? It can be done, I really doubt, but this is just so, it's not attainable. It's not. But what a better option is, I want to earn my PhD within 6 years of graduating from college. Now you are talking. That's something attainable. And as we're going along, be thinking of, I ask you to drop in the chat. We'll circle right back and you see how, I hope, and I'll go right, let me see what you guys dropped in the chat. I'm interested to know that, so that, Okay. Oh, a counselor, a lawyer, a doctor, a literature professor. Lydia, this is good. She doesn't just want to be a professor, she wants to be a literature professor. That's specific. Entrepreneur, that's Hansel. Software engineer, I was about to say that. It's just not enough to say I want to be an engineer. There are many branches of engineering, right? Environmental engineering, software engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering. So this is plain out. I'm happy with what I'm seeing in the chart. Political scientist, a soccer player and a leader. Isaiah, a leader in what? So you should be thinking about that. The soccer player, I tell you what, being a soccer player is good. This reminds me of my kids as well. And I shared a little bit about them yesterday. All three of them do basketball. So Nathan is 16, Lenora is 14, Ian is 12. And the boys, they want to go to the NBA, and the girl, wants to go to the WNBA. But guess what? Even though Lenora wants to go to the WNBA, she is also aspiring to become a pediatrician. So not only does she want to become a medical doctor, she knows exactly what she wants to specialize in, pediatrics. And Nathan wants to become an entrepreneur as well, combined with his MBA. And Ian wants to become a civil engineer. He doesn't just want to become an engineer, he specified it is civil engineering. So I hope this is actually making sense as we go along. So the next one is relevant. Your goals must be very, very relevant. And I'll go right down to the very last one. Honestly, when you're setting your goals, always do something that will give you satisfaction. And we live in a world that is very, very possible. When we were growing up, our parents told us, hey, we want you to become this. Do something that you are really passionate about. It's not about your parents. If you do something you'll be very, very passionate about, you'll be very, very good, and you have that fulfillment, you'll be very, very good at it. And it has nothing to do with it making you a lot of money. And just so you know, money is good, but money does not give you happiness. And towards the end, I'll actually show you the circle of life. So if you do something, there are a lot of people who are doing a lot of things and they're making a lot of money off of what they're doing, but they are not fulfilled, they are not happy. Because maybe they ended up doing something that they don't really like. So when you're setting your goals, it should be something that you really love to do for the rest of your life. Something that you can even do without getting paid for. So that's the last one says a goal must also be something you choose. You choose, not something that's thrust upon you. This is so critical, boys and girls. So I tell my kids, and again, 12, 14, 16, they have to pick and choose. It's not me forcing them to become a medical doctor. No, they have to do something that they'll be passionate about. Because if you do something you're not passionate about, you'll just be miserable. Yes, you can make some money, but it's not important. So you have to set relevant goals. This is an example. I will improve my piano skills before getting an accounting job. What has improving your piano skills got to do with you getting an accounting job? It's not relevant. Not saying you should not take piano classes, but if you want to improve your piano skills because you want to get an accounting job, that's not being relevant. But this is better. I will improve my math skills before applying for an accounting job. That makes sense. It's relevant. If you want to improve your calculating skills, because that's what accountants do, right? They work on numbers, figures all day long. So it has to be very, very relevant. So hopefully this is making sense. And your goals have to be time-bound or trackable. This is so critical. Very, very important. As I earlier mentioned, it's not enough to say, hey, I'll go to school and graduate. When are you going to graduate? So when Dr. Irene put this program together, she had a start date, right? Time, date when we had to start this program. There's a day and time that we have to end this program. Everything you do in life has to be time-bound and trackable. If not, you will just be all over the place. I heard Dr. Nicolene mention, hey, if you carve out 30 minutes to read, just focus for those 30 minutes and get it done. You cannot be all over the place and you expect to be effective. It's not going to happen. So time-bound, look at example 1. I will start applying for a job. Yesterday, Dr. Abi actually trained us on applying for jobs, right? I will start applying. That's so vague. When are you going to start applying for a job? So it's just wide open. But look at example number 2. I will research at least 20 major companies in my field by the end of August 2020. You start out by doing some research, right? You know, and she gave you some pointers like Craigslist, and some of you posted some links in the chat. That is good. You do some research, give yourself some time. I will set up 3 informational interviews in August of 2020. Those are steps, those are actionable steps. And then I will send out 25 resumes by August 20th, 2020. Those are actionable steps. They are time bound. You have a time frame within which you want to accomplish this goal. So that is very, very important, boys and girls. Very, very critical. Everything you do, you know, put a date, attach a date to it. There has to be a deadline. When do you want to graduate from high school? When do you want to graduate from this? When do you want to get married? All these things, you have to, you know, there has to be a deadline. Goals are dreams with deadlines. So if you are dreaming big, and there's nothing wrong with dreaming very big, dream as big as you can. But there should be some deadlines. And I told you the very direct opposite of smart. So again, honestly, if you don't remember anything, gain anything from this training, this is so critical. This acronym SMART. Always think SMART, always. Again, when you think of SMART, just go to think about specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and then time-bound or trackable. What you don't want to do are dumb goals, right? We're just mentioning this. And what are dumb goals? Again, dateless, has no date, just vague, wide open, unsupportive. So you don't even know the how. There are no steps on how you can achieve that goal. They are not clear, they are muddy, right? They are muddy, not clear at all. You have to be crystal clear in your mind what you want to, who you want to become, what you want to accomplish in life. And then the last one is B. So you see the DOM is D, is deadless, the U is unsupportive, the M is muddy, and the B is beyond reach. Beyond reach. It's just like something beyond reach. It's very, very simple. It's like your parents saying, I'll lose 40 pounds in 2 days. That's beyond reach for me. So I'll get my first job, and by the end of the first 30 days, I will make $1 billion. That's beyond reach. So, but that does not stop you from dreaming really very, very big. Continue to dream very, very big, but it's better to set smart goals. Smart goals are actually very, very important. So moving along, That's what you should be doing, boys and girls. Write down your goals. Have them written down on paper. If you just have it in your head, it's a wish. Know that. If you have a goal and you don't write it down, it's just a wish. Write down your goals on a piece of paper. And you know what I usually do at the last, before we get to the last bullet point? Post them where you can always see them. At my age, I still have some goals, things that I want to accomplish in life. I post them on my restroom mirror. You know why? Every morning when I go in to brush my teeth, I see my goals right there. They are right in front of me. Post them where you can always see them. It doesn't have to be on a mirror, but preferably on the mirror, right? Like boys and girls, you always like to check out yourself, how cute you are in front of a mirror. So you're standing in front of a mirror and you're turning left and right to see how cute you are. So while you're doing that, you're seeing your goals, and that registers in your subconscious mind. It keeps registering even though you don't know. Every time you look at them, you smile, you read them. So don't only write them, but post them where you will always see them every single day. I go as far as, because I work from majority of the time I work from home, I have post notes on my computer. Things that I want to accomplish, these little post notes, I have them, these little stickers, I have them all on my computer. So if I say I want to make $30,000 in the month of July, I have steps of what I need to do in order to make $30,000. And that's what I focus on. So have them written down, post them where you can always see them. Again, we talked about this, and I told you that I was going to say it over and over. The worst thing you want to do is to have a goal that's not specific. Your goal has always to be very, very specific. Always follow, always actually craft SMART goals. If you follow that acronym SMART, everything, you will just easily actually come up with some very good goals. Again, they should be measurable. We just touched on that. They should have a time frame. This is very, very critical. Read them out loud frequently. Read them to yourself. And don't be ashamed to say your name and say, hey, you know, you can start there in front of the mirror and say, you know what, my name is Ethel, and by the age of 20 or by the age of 25, I'm going to be this pediatrician. And maybe that's not what Ethel wrote, but exactly what you want. Say it to yourself, read it. Hopefully this is making sense. And then choosing your goals, again, choosing your goals, allow yourself to dream really very, very big. The most important thing that I want to say, which I already said, is go for something that you are passionate about. Yeah. Go for something that will give you joy, satisfaction. Again, I'll show you the circle of life. Don't just go after something because if it pays you good money, that's very, very good. But as I earlier mentioned, you don't want to end up making a lot of money on a career that you are not satisfied. There are a lot of people like that. They're actually on a career. Yes, they're making a lot of money. They are not happy at all with what they do. And that's the worst thing you ever want to happen to you. You want to really be on a career that you can go in and do it in and out, even if you get paid or not, you are just so fulfilled. It's all about fulfillment. So visualize, mention this, choose it. You always visualize your goals. See it in your mind's eyes. So you see it in your mind's eyes before it ever happens. So if you want to become a very successful, let me go back and pick some examples, which I saw had some great examples in there in the chart. Okay. Okay, let me see. What was the quote you wrote about goals on the bottom of the trackable slides? Okay, Gloria, I'll go right back. I'm so sorry that I'll get right back there. Okay, somebody wants to be Chelsea wants to be an emergency room doctor. This applies to all of you. And then Jessica wants to be a neurosurgeon. Amazing. Moto wants to be a police officer. Amazing. Working with the government. So you want to visualize, already see yourself in that uniform now. Already see yourself, Chelsea, in the emergency room with the white doctor's gown on. Always visualize, start seeing yourself in an emergency room already before you ever get there. That's what I mean by you have to see it in your mind's eyes. You see yourself, it could take the next 10 years or 12 years or whatever before you ever get there, but you have to start visualizing it. See yourself already being that person who you already want to become. And that goes again, I said, once you are very, very specific, you can always find yourself in there. And then let me see what Glory wanted. He wanted, let me go back, trackable. That's it. Hopefully that's what you wanted, Glory. I said goals are dreams. It's actually Diana Shaft Hunt. Goals are dreams with deadlines. That's what that quote is. Goals are dreams with deadlines. And always remember it. I said, if you have a goal that is not written down, it is just a wish. If you don't write it down, it's just a wish. So that's where we were. And then moving along, helping you how to choose your goals. Having a clear goal is just the first step. You remember what I said, right? It's good to have a clear, specific goal, but it's just the first step. It's just like wishing, and no action. You must design and work an action plan to achieve your goals. That's a how. And I gave you a very, very basic example. And again, I'm using your parents because you are just great kids, great boys and girls. If your mom wants to drop 20 pounds, they need an action plan. They need an action plan on how to work out. It's either working out 30 minutes every day or an hour and eating right. So it's just, you can wish all you want to wish, but you have to work an action plan to achieve your goals. You might want to be that emergency doctor or a neurosurgeon. Right now, you have to already identify, you have to go and do your research, know the courses that you need to read while in college in order, the prerequisites, what you need to take in order to become a neurosurgeon, what you need to do in order to become a police officer, a lawyer. You have to have all those things written down right now. So it's very, very important to know that. And this is where to start. To set a goal, and I honestly, strongly, I'm so proud of each and every one of you. What I see in the chart, if you have not already dropped in the chart who you want to become in the future, I encourage you to do it. And as we said yesterday, this is not a one-time thing. Dr. Irene has a great vision for this project, and the next, who knows, in the next 4, 5 years. In the next 10 years, you'll be visiting to train on this platform, hopefully with in-person trainings. So, and then you'll be that emergency room doctor. And it all started by you just dropping it into the chart and sitting down and working on it and making sure that you make it concrete. It's so important. And this is going to happen 10 years or 5 years from today, 10 years from today, 15 years from today. Some of you will be training and actually you'll be sharing your story, how you actually dropped in the chart, who you wanted to become in the future. And that's how you started working on it to make it a goal become a reality. That's very, very important. So here is what is important. Again, I said I was going to say this over and over because that's how important it is. It's just like, make your goals specific and concrete. Don't be vague. And I gave you that formula, SMART. And those 4 questions, the why, the how, the what. So we went through all of that. If you don't answer those 4 questions and then you make it very, very specific, it is vague. And the when. So those 4 questions are very, very, again, it's the why, the what, the how, the when. These 4 and the acronym SMART will take you places. If you always answer these 4 questions and then you apply the SMART formula, it's going to be good. Set both long-term goals and short-term ones to support them. Again, we wanted to keep this very, very simple. Short-term goals are things you want to achieve maybe 3 to 6 months from now. You know, that's short-term goals. But we're talking about long-term goals because boys and girls, we want you people to become extremely, very, very successful in the future. You remember yesterday I said, you are the future leaders. You are actually our future leaders, and that's exactly who you are. So we're looking at 10, 15 years from today. Those are long-term goals. But guess what? You have to start working on it today. I heard a quote a long time ago. Hopefully I'll be able to paraphrase. They said, the best time to have planted a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is right now. So it is now that you have to start working on who you want to become 15 years from today. You will not wait, just like time man, you may not wait until it's 2 years to a year to before you start working on it. It's not going to work out well. So set a deadline for your goals. By now, you should already know when you should graduate from high school, graduate from college, embark on all, have those things written down. It doesn't take long to sit down and map it out. And then in a regular goals, especially right now, your focus should be school, right? School, and then personal and career. In this chart, I'm so proud of what I've seen. All of you are dropping in just, the future is so bright. Yeah. You know why I say so? Because in the future, I might walk into a hospital and maybe that neurosurgeon will be like, oh, this is that uncle who trained on that platform. And you'll be the one attending to me. You might be that professor. Yeah, that's what this is all about. You might be that lawyer and you'll be helping me out with some, hopefully I don't have any issues with my business, but you'll be that lawyer to help me out. So this is so critical. So realize that goals change, but know which goals to stick to. It's very, very important. Your goals will change. And are you going to have challenges on your way to achieving your goals? I did not even want to talk about that. I don't want to scare anybody. You will have a ton of challenges, but that should not scare any of you because I know you are outstanding, amazing boys and girls. That should not scare any of you. And I dropped this in. You might want to take a screenshot of this. This is the wheel of life. This, I didn't put it, this is just a standard. This is the wheel of life. If you want to be whole and complete, if you really want to be whole and complete, very, very satisfied in life, you have to be 100% in all of these areas. And you can prioritize it the way you want it, but you know where I start? This is, my number 1 is this one here. Number 1 is spiritual, and my number 2 is what? Family. But different people, they classify it, they prioritize it in different ways, but I start with spiritual, and then my family is next, and my number 3 is my business, and then everything. But I'll say both spiritual, family, and guess what? Physical is definitely my number 3. Why? Of what good is money if you cannot live long enough to enjoy that money? So if you're not healthy enough, take a screenshot of this. And the way this works, unfortunately, when I do this to adults, I'll print this out and we practically do the exercise. You see each of these segments. Let's say your spiritual life is 25, just 20, your spiritual life is not, you're not there yet. And like boys and girls, I expect this to be 100%. So if it's 100%, what you need to do is just shed the whole, this little portion. You shed it. You shed it. But if it's just 50%, you can just shed only half of this. If 75%, you can shed it all the way 75%. And then, so, but this is what gives you, when you see people who are actually very, very happy, fulfilled, every area of their life is functioning. Let me put it this way. It's just like, how many legs has a chair? Look at this like the chair of your life. A chair has how many legs? Normally it's 4 legs, right? Can you imagine sitting on a chair with 2 legs? What is going to happen? Or 3 legs? You can easily fall off, right? How many wheels does a car have? A car has how many wheels? 4 wheels. A regular car. Can you imagine driving a car on 2 wheels? So if everything here is 100%, and I heard Dr. Nicolene mention it, listen to me carefully, boys and girls. Listen to me carefully. You see this one here, social fun? Anything that you're doing in life, if you are not having fun, rethink your choices. You always have to be having fun. I mean, always. Always, you should be having fun in anything that you're doing. But again, take time to prioritize, to categorize these different segments. It's actually 8 of them. So, but for me, again, I'd say my number 1 is spiritual. My number 2 is family. My number 3 is physical. And then business is next. And then the other things can fall in any order. But at the end of the day, if you're doing something and you're not having fun, do whatever it's going to take to have fun in whatever thing you're doing.
Dr. Ian, Glory is asking that what is the contribution section about?
Oh, that is contribution section is I'm looking for the word. Let me give you 1 second, Glory. Contribution is like you are contribution could be like tithing at church, right? Or supporting the needy in your community. That's contribution. It could be volunteering. It's not just, it's not physical. Contribution could be at church, maybe the church you attend, maybe you are the Sunday school leader. That's a contribution right there. There are so many ways we can contribute in the community. And the way it's set up, that's why we have these community hours. Before you graduate, even at high school, you have a certain number of community hours. That's contribution. That's the way the system is designed. So that's what it is. That's what it is, Glory. And so this is your assignment as we wrap up. Let me see. Yeah, I'm just almost there. So make a goal to make up. We've talked about this. This is so critical. This is the starting point of you becoming successful. Set a goal to make up your bed every morning. Boys and girls, you are amazing kids. I'm telling you, that should be your number 1 goal. Do it every single day for 21 days. It will become like second nature. Then you always do it. Set up a goal about yourself this summer. Again, this is a good goal. I hope you people are very appreciative of what Dr. Irene has put together. I'm telling you, this has put you way, way, way ahead of other kids of your age group. If you have an idea, honestly, if you actually will implement some of the things that you're learning from all these amazing trainers that I saw on the flyer, you are way, way, way ahead of the game. So keep doing what you're doing. So this was a good goal that you set to actually attend this program this summer. Just plan never ever to miss it again. Invite all your friends. Talk to your parents' friends about this program. That it's an amazing program. And hopefully it is what I am saying. So the third one is big. Set a goal to excel in your academics the next, this is long-term, right? These are short-term goals. Making up your bed and what to do, these are very short-term goals. And the third one is set a goal to excel in your academics the next 5 to 10 years. Or you can make it 15 years. From what I've seen in the chart, a lot of you want to become lawyers, medical doctors. It's going to take a while. So you have to start working on it right now. So let me go back to the chart and let me see. So that's your homework. Please take that to heart and make sure you try to implement it. Emanuela, how do I make my financial section 100% at this age? Okay, good. That's a very, very excellent question, Emanuela. 100% right now, whatever amount of money that your parents, because you are not working yet, right? Write this down. Let me put this. All of you should ask your parents to get this book for you. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. I'm typing it in the chat. Ask your parents. They can go to Amazon to buy a used one for you. It's a little read. I have all my kids have read it. It will show you how to be responsible with your money. It's not how much money you make. It's how much money you keep. There are people who make $50,000 in a year who are richer than people who make $200,000 in a year. It's not how much money you make, but how much money you can keep. So, but to answer that question, Emanuela, what you need to do is learn how to use wisely whatever allowance your parents are giving you. So if your parents give you an allowance of $100, don't think fast food right away. You can think of other ways to actually start investing even $10 into something. So, but as of now, since you are not working, that I'll say just be very, very, don't just spend your money on things that are not relevant. We talked about relevant goals, right? Only get stuff that are actually going to help you. Maybe get some more books to read, get some more gadgets that can help you succeed in your studies. So that's, let me see what Doc is saying. Okay, so that's, also, I'll say that's it. Please don't forget, ask your parents to get The Richest Man in Babylon. And again, that was actually the end of the presentation with the homework. Thank you so much, boys and girls, for giving me the opportunity to be a part of your lives. I look forward to meeting you in person, God willing, when this pandemic is over. Thank you all so much.